Welcome to Comic Talkers, where comics is always the top of our discussion. I'm Mary,
And I'm Brandon.
and we are back again with our 52 book club, week 36. We are getting to the end. Doesn't feel real. This is actually how I've been pacing myself for like how far into the year we are. And I don't like it. But here we are starting with issue 36, week 36. As always, if you are not caught up, this is a really bad place to start. This is not a good place to start. You're gonna miss all sorts of weird Lobo context, and as much as I hate to say it, that's unacceptable, and we're gonna need you to go back. Fortunately for you, we have compiled a lovely playlist that you can go and see what you've missed. If you just missed a few episodes, so much easier for you. If you have not caught up with us at all, we have everything there too, but it might take you a bit longer. But I'm going to start us off with some more of that Lobo context, actually. And so last time we saw Starfire, Lobo, Animal Man, and what's his
Adam
name?
Strange.
Hmm?
Adam Strange.
Adam Strange. I don't know why I blanked on his name. I was almost going to call him Adam Smasher. I was like, that is not right. He is also in this comic, but not on this page. The last time we saw them, Lobo had basically been like, yeah, well, I was gonna turn you in for a bounty, and so we could use this to sneak you into Lady Styx's sort of stronghold fortress so that we can fight back from the inside. Because Lady Styx is trying to destroy the whole universe.
Yeah.
Bad news, guys. Things are not going well in space.
No.
But things have not gone well in space for the entire book so far. So are we really surprised?
No.
um, and we actually walk in on Lady Styx like eating what appears to be someone.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a great way to start. Anyway, so Lobo is immediately looking at Styx like, hey, where's my bounty? I got you these guys. um and the dolphin is translating for Lady Styx and says, Lady Styx says there is no bounty, your worship. She'll take the information she needs directly from their nervous systems. We're all to be broken down into biomass to serve her needs. So Lobo, as we're going to discover, is stalling. It looks like he's kind of throwing a temper tantrum. And so we're seeing Animal Man and Starfire sort of get hounded by Styx's minions, who are basically going, believe in her, believe in her. They're being very culty. It's giving Universal Church of Truth from Guardians of the Galaxy. And they put some sort of device on Coriander's head. And Animal Man is very upset. We don't know what the device does, but he's not happy about it. And Lady Styx starts calling Lobo a coward, says he can't fight at all. And in fact, she says only a truly pathetic coward would so wholeheartedly embrace doctrines of universal peace as a way to avoid a slapping. And then he keeps going. Basically, the dolphin is definitely like Lobo is angry because he doesn't like being called a coward, but the dolphin seems more upset about the dissing pacifism that Lobo does. And we see Lobo be very patient for Lobo. I will say. He seems to be waiting for something before he decides to ask for forgiveness before kicking some Styx minion butt. And he said, "I'm not going to do the voice because I'm voiced out for my D&D campaign, but I did like 8 voices on Tuesday. I'm voiced out." He says, "I killed every living thing on Zarnia for fun. I killed Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and things that don't even exist. And so help me, I tried to follow the triple fold path of peace. But even I got limits." Um, and then he goes to fight Styx and doesn't go super well for him. Um, this is where we're seeing Animal Man hold up a picture of his wife and his daughter, and he's like, This is what I believe in, as everyone is like screaming at him to believe in Styx. And then Adam Strange bursts through the window and everything goes a little sideways. Lobo reveals that pacifists have a lot of pent-up aggression, and we learn that the Sun Eaters have started their migration, and that's what Lobo was waiting for. And we see the giant green skull that Lobo had stolen the eye from, that we have just spent the last arc handling, come crashing through this window to go after Styx. And they're just kind of locked in battle, and then they disappear in a cloud of light. We find out that Animal Man was shot with a necrotoxin. Adam Strange says to use his powers, and Buddy's like, no, 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 my family knows how much I love them. He asks Corey to tell them, and he asks Corey to promise that she won't let him come back as a zombie. And then he dies. And then we see his wife. There's like a change in the air. We even have like the quintessential autumn leaves flying past. Um, and she wipes away a tear, and his kids are like, "Hey, what's going on?" And that's where we leave our space crew for this issue.
Um, and then we go to St. Luke's Hospital. Now, question is still kicking, but he's still hallucinating. And I love Renee's kind of quotes here. A month ago, he was Vic Sage. He was Charlie. A month ago, he was at once cheerfully vague and hungrily curious. He was funny. He was smart. He was a royal pain in my ass. He was my best friend in the world. And I love this scene because, again, we see how she doesn't like him when we first started this, to now loving him and treating him not only as, you know, her partner, but in this, but her best friend. And that's what I love about this. And she continues stating, then the cancer lurking in his lungs got hungry and got busy. It got in his bones, it got in his brain. A little there is left of him is in such agony, a morphine drip is the only thing that keeps him from screaming. To say it's not fair is like saying rain is wet. Absolutely obvious and entirely unhelpful. Now, what we see is that she gets a delivery that's addressed to her. Now, the letter that states on here says the following. Though whether this was due to removing them from Nandam Prabhat or the depredations of the Postal Service, I can only hope it is the latter. I have another trip to, and Renee opens the box. And she states, it doesn't matter how many radiation treatment he undergoes. Like the flowers Tot keeps sending in vain, hoping they will survive long enough to do Charlie some good. But they don't. Outside of Nanda Parbat, they can't. Outside of Nanda Parbat, their days are numbered. Outside of Nanda Parbat. And she opens the box and there's a thing of sand that falls into her hands. And she crimps her hand because now she knows what she needs to do. And we go to the next day and she's outside walking with Kate. Now, she's even stating to Renee, this is a bad idea with what they're trying to do. And Renee goes, Charlie's as dead as it is, pretty much. At this point, it's not going to hurt me to try something different and try to save him. And she states, I'm not talking about him. Kate says this. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about you. And I'm thinking this looks as an awful lot like denial. And Renee responds, not denial, defiance. And she goes, I've lost too many people, Kate. And pretty much Kate goes, the jet will only take you so far. There are no flights where you're going, no roads. You can't hike a dying man up the Himalayas in the middle of winter. The weather alone could kill you both. And she tries to continue to plead with her, like, this isn't going to change anything. The question is going to leave soon at this point. But where we finally see why Renee's doing this. He saved me, Kate. He pulled me out of the self-pity and despair, and I owe him my life. And there's even a chance that getting Charlie back to Nanda Parbat will save his, then I'll do it. Or I'll die trying. She kisses Kate on the cheek, tells her goodbye, and leaves in the plane that was provided to her by Kate. Now, we go to Kondak. Now, the last time we see Osiris, chopped a villain in half. Well, the news have already caught a hold of this. Of course, you see in the newspaper him going through the body. And of course, you see the Teen Titans react with, of course, Captain Marvel Jr. sitting in front talking. And pretty much you see that he is mad at himself. And so Beck tries to come in here and try to talk with him a little bit to try to, like, hey, we got apples, they're sweet as honey. And Osiris states the following: Black Adam said it was an ambush. He said someone sent those supervillains to try to provoke us. He said someone wanted to do to us what they did to Wonder Woman when she killed Maxwell Lord. They wanted to try to lie to the world and tell them we were nothing more than a dark family of sadistic murderers. And he even states, the Teen Titans said if I came back to the tower, they have to arrest me. And, that pretty much Osiris is kind of stating the following, that he's feeling hateable. And on that, it's because of a decision that the government made, and now he's dealing with the consequences. That now he's the bad guy. And Sebek kind of comes up and he says, I don't hate you, and hands Osiris an apple. Now, it's a short scene. We're going to get a couple like that with Black Adam, like that in the next few issues. But Day 7 comes along. This is where things start to be revealed when it comes to Rip Hunter. Now, somebody we've talked about for quite some time. But we see somebody in there with him, Supernova. He states the following: broken is time. Find can't the right power source for Chronosphere. And he goes, I've brought everything you've asked for. This is Supernova stating. The staffs of the Starmen, Luther's Kryptonite Gauntlet, Shadow Thieves, Dimensimeter, and more. Can't you make something out of them? And he goes, something working. And he goes, Rip, calm down. It's tough enough understanding you when you're linear. And of course, we see Rip really going crazy a little bit. But we see you can't fight him yet. What if? And of course, he's still going. He goes, you're Rip Hunter. You're the time master. I won't worry about deadlines if you can stay focused. And he states, I realize Skeets has been searching for you. He knows you need access to this level of technology, but we're in the last place he'd think to look, if he even knows it exists. For now, we're safe. So we see that Supernova and Rip Hunter have been hiding in Kandar, which is in a glass globe by Brainiac. But here's the funny thing is, in the last panel of the normal issue, we do see Skeets there. That ends this week's issue, but I'm going to turn it over to Mary because we do have an origin story to go over.
Yes, and we have the origin story of Power Girl. And this is, I know I requested doing this one. This is actually one of my least favorite origin stories from the entire 52. And it's because of the way that they draw Power Girl in all of the panels.
Yeah.
A lot of commentary has been done about the over-sexualization of Power Girl and just how deeply misogynistic most of the art for her is. And it's bad. This is like, I've seen this particular origin story cited in like feminist critique of superhero comics from the 2000s. Like this particular section, it's just so grossly over sexualized. But Power Girl is cool, so I'm still going to push forward, but with the acknowledgement that this is like some of the most gross fetishistic art we've seen in this entire series. So, of course, we all know that Krypton exploded, and the two infant cousins were rocketed to safety. One, of course, we know is Clark Kent, Superman, and the other, Kara Zor-El, was hampered by a far slower ship and kept alive for decades in suspended animation. She eventually emerged on Earth fully grown and eager to live the kind of life she'd only been allowed to dream about. As Power Girl, Superman's partner and confidant. In time, Kara learned a devastating truth behind her origins. She had been born and raised in a parallel universe, later eradicated in a multiversal crisis. She has since been welcomed into the DC universe as its sole superheroic survivor by others who know all too well what it's like to lose family. And there we see Supergirl and Clark, who are grabbing Kara's cape to pull her. Now aligned with the Justice Society of America, Power Girl has vowed to protect her adopted homeworld from anything that might threaten it. She will not endure that deep a loss again. Of course, powers and weapons. Energized by Earth's yellow sun, Power Girl possesses great strength, speed, invulnerability, and the ability to fly. Her super senses include X-ray and telescopic vision, heat vision, super hearing, and Arctic breath. Like all Kryptonians, she is vulnerable to kryptonite and is powerless under the rays of a red sun. Essential storylines include Infinite Crisis and the Power Girl trade paperback. And she is, of course, part of the Justice Society of America. I'm also going to take this moment to say that renaming her is stupid. And I don't know who greenlit that, but they should be fired. And I'm going to say that's where Power Girl ends for me.
So this will end this week's issue. So fans, tell us what you think about week 36. Let us know what you think about Lobo's story and kind of where it's going at this point, along with the space crew of Starfire, Adam Strange, and Animal Man. And not only that, let us know what you think about Rip Hunter finally making an appearance and where they're located. We want to see what your guys' opinions are about that.
And who do you think Supernova is that he's working with Rip Hunter?
Yeah, because guess what, fans? You guys ready to find that out? You're going to find out next week. So please stay tuned to what we're going to be talking about next week. As always, find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Comic Talkers. Also, listen to other great comic book and anime content on our normal podcast, Comic Talkers, and Spotify for podcasts or Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit this like button if you like this video. This more of the sport. We'd love to hear from you guys and what you guys think about 52 so far at this point in time. Without further ado, my name is Brandon.
And I'm Mary.
And may comics always be the top of your discussion.